Welcome to the Snohomish Storytellers. Here in our little corner of the universe in Snohomish, we have a strong sense of community and heritage founded in the whispers of yesterday's stories and the narrative of what is being written today. Snohomish Storytellers captures this through organic conversation between Snohomies, former, present, and future.
This podcast is brought to you by the historic Downtown Snohomish Association. Our mission is to promote, preserve, and improve the Downtown Historic District as the heart and soul of the city of Snohomish. My name is Megan Hetherington, Executive Director of HDSA, and my lovely co-host is
Sheila DeVerter, board member of HDSA. And with us today is also our podcast producer and vice president of HDSA, Trent DeVerter. And welcome to our podcast.
Sheila.
Megan.
Welcome
Back
to today's episode of Snohomish Storytellers. We are trying to record a great intro for you, but it's late at night.
And we're sugared up.
Yeah.
Well, not too much. It's healthy sugar.
That's right. We've determined that froyo is healthy.
Yes.
We established that in episode number 1.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very true. But yes, this is sugar-induced introduction.
Yes. But it's appropriate.
But it's appropriate.
Because it's for It Yogurt Shoppe. Our guest tonight was Ken Coman.
One of the sweetest men
Mr. Rogers
Snohomish.
of Snohomish.
Yeah. And it was such a pleasure to learn about him.
Yeah. It always is nice to talk to him. He's just a nice human. And if you need to feel like there's hope for humanity,
Yes.
go to It Yogurt Shoppe because you will get the frozen yogurt.
Yes.
And you'll get your choice of toppings.
Yes.
And you will get to engage with his staff or himself.
And you'll
they're all just delightful.
Yeah. And you'll walk out feeling calm, centered, happy.
And full.
And full.
And in all the ways.
So much joy coming out of that shop ever since Ken took it over, he said in 2021.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'll be 3 years in December.
Yeah. And considering how much we talk about him, we know it's one of the landmarks of Snohomish.
It has definitely become a landmark. Yeah. I mean, I love that it literally came up in our very first episode. And I think it has come up in every single episode.
Which would
we'll
make
have
sense.
To go back and check. Or any of you who are
avid
fantastic listeners, Rachel, you can comment and let us know. Do we talk about it in every episode? Is there one that we don't talk about? It? But one thing we forgot to ask during the interview that we want to make sure we throw in here, because we did ask him after what is Ken's favorite flavor
of frozen yogurt,
mm-hmm.
which is vanilla with streusel. And for those of you that have not tasted Ken Coman's homemade streusel topping, I give you one homework, which is to get your butt into It Yogurt Shoppe and try the streusel, because it is the best thing. Literally my favorite, Trent's favorite, Ken's favorite.
I have not tasted it.
It is so good. And he said it's gluten-free.
I know.
So you can taste it.
I think I was probably always assuming that it wasn't because it looks so good. But next time I'm in there, I'm going to have to get the streusel.
You have to try the streusel. It will literally change your life.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
If anybody wants to meet me for froyo, we can have streusel together.
Or if you walk into It Yogurt
I'll probably
Shoppe,
be there.
The chances of you seeing Megan is also
probably annoyingly high.
But it is a place that we all love more than just the yogurt, which we do get into in the episode. You know, it is about the environment that Ken has curated.
Yeah.
It is the reflection of him and his values and who he is as a person.
And the welcoming atmosphere and so many great things. So this is probably our sweetest episode to date. Dun-dun-dun.
Yes.
So please enjoy episode 11.
Oh my gosh.
With Ken Coman.
Welcome to this episode of Snohomish Storytellers. I'm sorry, that was the only way that my brain could compute.
It's a nice way to welcome people.
It is as literal of
to
a
the
way.
Point.
Yeah, which is what we're after tonight. Just kidding. Well, we have one of the most mentioned store owners. Well, the store is most mentioned. I don't know if a lot of people know who's behind the store, so maybe we'll explore that today.
It is the most mentioned business on this podcast by our guests.
Yes.
And showed up on surveys that little children were given by the city of Snohomish.
Without our persuasion, to make that clear. They did it on their own accord.
Yep.
And it is definitely probably half of Trent and mine's diet most of the year. So, we appreciate it. But we have Ken here, who is the owner of Top It Yogurt.
Thanks for being here, Ken.
Welcome.
You. My pleasure.
And how do you pronounce your last name? Because I never learned.
Just Coman.
Coman.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Coman. I like the alliterations.
Yeah, rolls off the tongue nicely.
Right. Feels good. But welcome, Ken. It's very nice to have you here with us today. And yeah, you're just such a staple part of our lives at this point that we want to share it with everyone else who might not have had the pleasure of knowing Ken as much as Megan and I do.
We're best friends.
Yeah, you guys, you said you met each other 4 times already today?
Yes.
This is the 4th time.
You guys are just attached at the hip at this point.
It's been normal lately. Yeah, so we want to know, how did you become the owner of Top It? What did you do before? And how did you get into frozen yogurt? How does one get into frozen yogurt?
You jump into a tub and then, just frozen yogurt.
It's funny because people will ask that all the time. There was a couple that came into the store today and they said, so what training did you go through to do this? And I just looked at them. I said, none.
Yeah.
So what I did before Top It Yogurt Shoppe is I've worked in human resources my whole life. I went to school for HR. I got my degree in HR and was fortunate enough to do that for my career. And I wasn't really looking to leave HR, but with the pandemic and my kids getting older, I realized that I wasn't going to have time with them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to do something where I could spend time with them. And I'm a farmer on the side, and I had always imagined of, starting a farm business and working with my kids, which I did, start to farm, but my kids strangely weren't interested in farming with me.
Well, it's hard work.
It is. And my kids, I love them, but some of them are allergic to hard work like that. And so it was just a lot of solitude for me, which of course I enjoyed, but they were still getting older. And my daughter was working at Top It during the pandemic. And I just saw an opportunity to work with her there. And so I reached out to the owners and I asked if they were willing to sell.
Oh, what?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
So you just randomly were like, hey, you want to sell your frozen yogurt shop to me?
Yes.
Wow. And they said yes. Was there like writing on the wall or like how? That's kind of a bold thing to do.
So I got the sense that they were ready to move on to something else. And so I did reach out and they never actually responded to me.
Oh.
So how did I end up buying it? I went online and I was certain that they were ready to sell. And so there's a place where you can look at businesses that are for sale online.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a yogurt shop in Snohomish for sale.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is the place.
Yeah.
So I had to go through their broker.
You just instinctually knew.
I did.
That's kind of cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you know them? Like,
I had never met them before.
oh, okay.
Yeah. They're wonderful people.
Yeah.
And we made an offer on the business and they said no.
Oh.
And I heard back from the broker that they've decided to go with another offer. And I was really sad because I really wanted to work with Eliza, our oldest.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sent him a message and I just said, my daughter's Eliza, who works for you.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a chance for me to get to work with her.
Mm-hmm.
Will you reconsider?
Oh.
And they did.
Wow.
Wow.
And so that's the story. And so we bought the shop. We closed on December 8th, got the key that night. And the next day we took over.
That was December 8th of 2021. 21.
Yep.
Man, so that was almost 3 years ago.
Almost.
But that's awesome that they reconsidered
It was very kind of them.
just based off of that one, sharing of that information. But kind of goes to show human connection can mean something.
Yeah.
It's not just the dollar signs, that people still care about people. That's really sweet. And it also echoes Doug's story with the Mark's building, of just going
if
up
they
to.
say no the first time, just ask again.
But also, just because it's not posted for sale doesn't mean you can't ask the owner whether or not
Which
you can't buy
loved
it.
in that story, that he did that with the building,
Mhm.
and that pretty much everybody who rekindled the interest in that building
Did the same
thing. Yeah, like it came around full circle for him.
Yeah. So watch out, Ken. It might come around.
Okay, I will.
So how has it been working with Eliza, you said, at the shop?
It has been wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything you wished for.
Well, I won't say that it has been perfect, because when you work with family, it's not always perfect.
Yeah.
But it has been very enjoyable. And I'm grateful for the privilege of doing that.
So did you fully quit then your corporate career?
Yes, I have at this point. But I worked at CGen, my former company, until this last December.
Oh.
We were acquired by Pfizer, and my role was eliminated in that acquisition.
Wow.
So,
but you already had this other great
I
thing
did.
going on. So what
I was
perfect
just kind of
timing.
holding on, waiting for the acquisition to close.
So you were planning,
Yes.
or were you? Were you
I
planning
was.
to?
Yeah, I had resigned in November of 2021,
Oh.
and they asked me to stay on. And so I stayed on, and then they asked me to stay on, and then they just kept doing that. And then when I knew that Pfizer was going to buy us, I'm like, you are not letting me go until this deal closes. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Use it to your advantage. That
It
makes
worked out.
sense.
Right.
grateful for both things.
Yeah.
So we've kind of seen, well, actually, Sheila, you had a question in here. What is a frozen yogurt shop? For those who might not be familiar.
Well, I feel like my generation, when we went through high school, was when frozen yogurt first exploded onto the scene. I feel like before, so this is early 2010s. I feel like before then, there wasn't
So true.
frozen yogurt shops, right? So what is frozen yogurt? And I know you got into the business, because of your daughter, but how do you feel with it now? What is your relationship with frozen
What's
yogurt?
your relationship with frozen yogurt, Ken?
Oh, that's a question no one's ever asked me before. So I guess just a quick background on frozen yogurt or yogurt. And I had someone ask me this today. So it is a regular question. What's the difference?
Yeah.
So yogurt is made from the milk
Mm-hmm.
and ice cream is made from the cream.
Okay.
And that's why it's called ice cream.
Mm-hmm. Not
And
ice milk.
Exactly. And there is such a thing. It's really kind of an Asian product, but yogurt made from the milk is then, cultured
Mhm.
with beneficial bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does make it easier on your stomach to digest
Mhm.
the yogurt.
Hmm.
I don't know about you, but whenever I eat ice cream, I don't really feel all that good afterwards, but I never have that problem with frozen yogurt.
Mm.
So my relationship with frozen yogurt is I get to taste it every single day because I go in, I turn on the machines, and then I just make sure that everything tastes the way that I want it to taste for our guests.
Quality control.
Yes.
I appreciate
Somebody
that.
has to do it.
It's a tough job, but somebody
Are you
has to
hiring
do
for
it.
that position?
I would love to
Come
outsource
in for
that.
5 minutes at the beginning of the day and just
Yes.
taste all the frozen yogurts.
Yep. Well, and it's not just the
I
frozen
bet you could get a
yogurts.
volunteer to do that.
I'm sure
So
you would.
true. An intern.
Yeah.
So they would also have to taste all of my homemade toppings.
Oh.
Not all of them, but most of them. I do taste every morning and make
Mhm.
sure that they taste the way that I want them to taste for our
Mhm.
guests.
Nice.
So, and it is not good on the waistline. I will just say that's a part of the relationship with the
Yeah.
business.
Well, you look great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. The homemade toppings. So now that we know what frozen yogurt is, I was going to say, I feel like we've seen an evolution of the shop in the last
Mhm.
few years in lots of ways. This is the statement. I don't really recall much about Top It before.
Yeah.
And now I am there too much. I think, didn't you say I was customer number 3? Of the
Yeah,
top
for-
customers?
for 2023, yes.
This is your log.
Number 3.
I love it.
And I can't give Leslie a hard time anymore.
Because you're probably
I
beating
beat
her.
her.
You did.
Yes.
Oh, don't tell her that.
I know. If you listen, Leslie, I won.
But I feel the same way. I feel like Trent and I have no memory. So we've lived in Snohomish since 2019, but I don't think we've ever been to Top It until after you took over. Like, I don't have any memories of what pre-Ken Coman Top It looked like.
We went a couple times when we first moved here in 2015, because we're like, oh, frozen yogurt. And I don't know. It wasn't like, it just wasn't as memorable as it is now. I wasn't like itching to go back. And when we lived in Edmonds, we used to go to Revelations, and they had green apple sorbet, and we would go get it every St. Patrick's Day. That was like our tradition. So I reached out to Top It when we moved here. I was like, hey, have you ever considered getting green apple sorbet? No. Okay. And then when Ken came in, hey, have you ever considered getting green apple? Sure. I was like, that's it. I'm officially
You're sold at that point.
I had some today.
You're a lifelong green apple.
Who's counting?
Who's counting? But I feel like those responsive special touches, making a lot of your own toppings, making it inclusive, not only to everyone in the community, but even just diet wise. That's a big deal. Like, I'm gluten intolerant. So being able to go places and get toppings that I would normally have to be like, oh, that looks so good, I can't have it. But I think that really makes the user experience so much better. Was that something that you intentionally wanted to do? Or were you more like, oh, I want to try because I know you're very creative. So what was the decision behind that?
So the decision behind homemade toppings was really ingredient based. I have certain values and principles that I try to live by. And that's been part of the fun about Top It, is running a business the way that I feel businesses should be run. I'm not perfect in that, trying. And ingredients matter. Where they come from matter. It impacts the world around us. And so initially, I was just trying to get my feet under me and run a business. And I appreciate Chris and Cora and their help with that. But then as I started to look at what was in the toppings, I was like, I could never eat that myself. If I won't do something myself, I won't ask someone else to do it instead. And so I've eliminated all toppings with palm oil. And you would be amazed at how many things have palm oil.
Yeah.
And there are some businesses such as Hershey that have sustainably sourced palm oil, and I appreciate them and I want to support them. But by and large, bulk candies, bulk sweets are going to be made from junk. And so I just started to eliminate those and to replace them with other things. And so I would replace like the gummy bears, because I'm a vegetarian and I don't want anything made out of animals. So gummy bears are made, out of gelatin, which comes from, sorry, listeners, like pig stomach or cow stomach. So I eliminated those and I replaced them with like an Annie's gummy bear. But, kids just don't like those. They're not fun to eat. And so, what can I replace these things with that would be better? So I first started with cookie dough. The former owner of Eufora in Monroe, she used to make the cookie dough there. And so she gave me the first idea that I could be making some of this myself. So I started to make the cookie dough and people loved it. So much better than the stuff that I was getting through our supplier, which is yucky. And then the cheesecake bites that we would get from our supplier, I saw that they were made with palm oil. So I eliminated that. And Haley Rice, who she said, Ken, and she used to manage Top It. She said, there are some pretty easy cheesecake recipes out there. You should try that. Yeah. So I did. People loved it. And so honestly, with those two toppings to start, it just kind of went from there. And now we have, I don't even know how many toppings I make, but it probably has to be at least 30.
Wow. Were you a big cook before you started down the ingredients, or
No.
was that all part of the learning curve?
I cook dinner every Sunday for my family, but it's not cookie dough and cheesecake.
Yeah.
Although it would be good.
It would be. It would be.
It's Indian food and I don't have any Indian toppings right now. So
not yet.
Yeah, I can't.
Not yet.
I think that takes a couple mental leaps to try to marry those two things together, but I'm sure it is possible.
I've got tahine, which is spicy, but
Mango lassi.
Oh, that would be delicious.
Right. I'm also thinking mango sticky rice, but that's Thai. That's not Indian, but that would also be good. Okay. back from ingredients. So cooking, you weren't like a big chef beforehand. So you're
just on Sundays.
You're doing all of this and exploring it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's so cool. You have your own playground to do this.
I have so much fun.
Yeah. And no one to tell you, like, don't do that, you know? That is awesome.
Well, there are people that will tell me not to do that.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
They're like, that topping's not good.
Like when I did the Mexican fried ice cream topping, you know, that was a request from one of my guests.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really glad that I got to make it for her.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody really wanted it.
Oh.
So in that way, people tell me, you know,
Right.
that's cool, but it's just not.
It wasn't
Not their favorite.
utilized as much.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about toffee? Do you think that's going to remain?
Big seller.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Great. Glad to hear that. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
That's two for Raven.
Toppings for me at this point. So I love that you talked a little bit about that's very people focused.
Mhm.
Like you got a request and you filled it, or you got a suggestion. You're like, sure, yeah, I'll go ahead and try that. And people loved it.
Mhm.
So you seem very people focused in general. And there's been a lot of talk in the community about you and your shop.
Oh,
He's
All
like, good
positive
things,
things.
hopefully.
Where people just, I think, feel really welcomed there. So I think your shop holds more than, it's more than just a place to go get
Mm-hmm.
a treat.
I hope so.
And yeah, like how did you do that?
How did I do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. People matter to me.
Mm-hmm.
And really, at the end of the day, the relationships that we have with each other, those are the only thing that matter.
Mm-hmm.
And so how I treat people when they come into the store, that's the only thing that matters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my team members, they feel that way and they treat people the way that they want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
So people matter and I just want them to know that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Is that why you got into HR? Because I can see like a lot of these things, you know, are complementary. I don't know if that's the right word, but I can also see a lot of the same good qualities that you're exhibiting through your business would be really good HR practices.
Mm.
So it's like it's always been in your core, the caring for people, whether via your work in corporate HR or now running a yogurt shop in a small town. Like it shows your value, that it's, you know, part of your core, that you're not putting on the show of caring about people to get yogurt sold, but it is just you. That is your essence. I love it.
And my goal is not to sell a bunch of yogurt.
Mm-hmm. Build relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. It's more than the yogurt. Behind the yogurt.
It is. Yeah.
What's behind the relationship with the frozen yogurt? So you have some incredible window art. And
Thank you.
along with the evolution of the shop, we have seen a revolving
Yes.
exhibit of so many different types of artwork. Now, I can't even remember the first one. Can you?
Harry Potter?
Was it Harry Potter?
So that was my very first theme. Yes.
Good job, Sheila.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Good memory.
I do pay attention.
But it was not my first window art.
What was it?
But that is how I started, was with Harry Potter. It was just fun.
Mm-hmm.
My wife, Angie, would decorate the store for different seasons
Mm-hmm.
and holidays. So she gave me the idea to start doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And when Halloween came around, I was not interested in really doing skeletons or
The traditional
ghosts.
spooky. Yeah.
I just wasn't interested. So I thought, I'll take that one
Mhm.
and I will do Harry Potter. And I went all out with Harry Potter.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
And people had
was
so
super
much
cool.
fun.
Mhm.
It is.
It was honestly the first time that I remember anybody posting on social media about Top It,
Mm.
because it was just fun for them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And when I realized how fun it was for them to be there, I thought, I don't need Halloween. I could just always do something like this.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that's how it all got started. So the third or fourth theme that I did was Disneyland,
Mhm.
and that was the first window art that I did
Ah.
with the Disney castle on the door.
Yeah.
I remember
Sleeping
now.
Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty.
Brave.
That was beautiful.
I loved Brave.
Brave was,
Yes.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all coming back now.
Yeah. Merida.
Mm-hmm.
She was my favorite window art.
It broke my heart to scrape those off.
I can only imagine because I've seen you. I think we've gone to Looking Glass a couple times in the early mornings, and you can see Ken on his window painting away.
Yeah.
And I could only imagine how many hours and having to clean it up.
What are your average hours on a window installation?
It really just depends on the type of paint markers that I'm using
Mm-hmm.
and the complexity of the image.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's something like Spider-Man,
Mhm.
that was with kind of wide tip paint markers
Mm-hmm.
and a very simple image, that would take, maybe 8 hours to
Oh,
do.
jeez. That's
8
still a long
hours on a
time.
simple one. So then
Dang.
like the Notre Dame cathedral windows.
Oh, that took weeks to do. It took so long to do this. Well, so there was the Notre Dame, which was beautiful and intricate.
Mhm.
That took less time than the stained glass windows from Saint-Chapelle, which was on the other big bay window. I wanted to die by the time I was done with that. I hated it.
Yeah.
But then when it finally came together the last day, it just popped out.
Yeah.
I was just in love with it, and I never wanted to take it off.
They were really beautiful.
And people said, you should never take these off.
Yeah.
And I agree with them now.
Yeah.
I never should have taken those off, but I did.
But I think part of the adventure is seeing Ken at the front of the glass
Mhm.
painting, stopping and chatting with you while you're working, which probably does not help the number of hours that you spend on
Right.
the glass. But I think that's part of the other community feel of
Mhm.
it, right? It's not just the final product that we're after, but I just enjoy like stopping by and chatting with you while you're
And
working.
so do I.
Yeah.
There were some people that walked by today who I've gotten to know because of my window.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
work.
cool.
I also see a lot of little kids that, obviously they're in awe of the
Mhm.
art, but I think them seeing the progress is also good, because I've heard someone was like, oh yeah, like last week it wasn't like this, or it was only the outline or whatever, And I think there's a lesson in there too of showing progress. I think, especially in today's society, we're so output focused or like results focused that seeing someone in the middle of doing it is like, oh yeah, it didn't happen overnight. It is a lot of
Yeah.
hard work. And if you put in the work, then you get good outcomes. But it is always fun watching you do your art.
Oh, thanks.
But
And technically it is overnight.
it is
'Cause
you do it.
I started about 3:30 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez. Are you an artist prior to the glass?
I have never considered myself an artist.
Mm-hmm.
I like to draw with a pencil,
Mm-hmm.
and my life has been so busy that really over the last 15 years, I haven't been able to draw much.
Ah.
But as I was planning out my themes for 2023, that big wall that I have with the Titanic big piece,
Mm-hmm.
I was planning to use that wall as like my canvas.
Ah.
Oh.
And I was talking to my sister, who is very wise, a lot wiser than I am. And so I was sharing with her this idea, and she was like, Ken, that sounds like a lot of work. I'm not sure that you'd want to do that. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. So that's when I got like the big vinyl murals that I would put up there.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
And I don't always listen to wisdom, because then I looked at the windows, and Malise, she does window art.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, if she could paint on windows,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe I could paint on windows too.
Yeah.
So I did. And I first started with dry erase markers, and they were fun to work with, but then kids would like brush against
Nice
them.
job.
I
They
know.
can't help but just
Yeah.
to take that
their
finger.
And you'd be amazed how many adults too. Like, oh, is that vinyl? Scratch.
Oh,
Nope, it's not vinyl. It's a dry erase marker.
the curiosity just
I
gets
was
you.
just going to say that. Yeah. So there were so many themes that you did in 2023. It was almost monthly, wasn't it? But I do remember talking to you a couple times where you're like, I think I want to leave this one up a little bit
Yeah.
longer. Why? But eventually we saw some Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the Irish theme.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yep.
saw Notre Dame. That was around Valentine's Day, right?
Yes.
Notre Dame. And then the Irish theme was in March.
That song still plays in my head.
Which one?
Don't you have like a song plays on loop during the Irish theme one?
Oh yeah, I hated that music.
Yeah.
Like-
I'm pretty sure I can still like hear it in my head too.
Like an Irish
There
jig.
Yeah.
there were so many Irish drinking songs that
Right.
played on a loop.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of like Oktoberfest. Like if you go to Oktoberfest in
Yeah.
Leavenworth, then you're just hearing like,
Yep. And it stays with you,
It did.
yeah, it really does. What else did we get? What else did we rotate through?
So last year, those 3, plus I did the Titanic in April.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
I did
Marvel.
I did Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
I did Harry
Nice.
Potter
That
again.
was cool.
Yeah.
I loved Star Wars.
That was
I
a cool
loved
one.
Those windows. Those
I
are
also-
There were so
cool.
many great embellishments inside too.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
always
It
hidden
was like
gems.
Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's like a scavenger hunt of like, I think Trent and I were sitting in this shop one time and we're like, wait, this is a light cover or like a light
Yeah, isn't that
fixture
cool? Yeah.
or something. And I was like, man, like there's so many things. But I also love the, not competitions, but the like dress up
Oh, yeah.
prompts that
Mhm.
you give the community of like, come in your
Star Wars Day
Yeah.
and Marvel Day.
I love
and-
it. Love
Those
it.
were so fun.
Yeah, you and your kids participate in those, right? Doesn't
We would go in for May the 4th.
Mhm.
Yeah. And like, I think we all have some sort of a Star Wars shirt.
Mhm.
20% off right there.
Yeah. But we didn't have enough to do like the full on.
Gotcha.
I did try to offload Rich's baby Yodas onto
Yes, I
Ken,
remember
but
that.
I was not successful.
You were not.
Sorry, Rich.
They are still ironically, right above my bed now, staring down at me
Wow.
while I sleep.
Baby
Yeah.
Yoda is protecting you.
Yeah,
Yes.
The Force is strong.
I'm surrounded by baby Yoda. He's growing on me a little bit, but anyway, we won't go into that whole thing. Snohomish Storytellers podcast is brought to you by Elle Marie Hair Studios.
So I was scrolling through Instagram the other day, as I always do these days, and not TikTok because I'm not hip enough for that.
Oh, you're officially an Instagrammer now.
Yeah, just Instagram. But I got to the corner of, the reels where it was like a bunch of hair and makeup tutorials type, which is funny because I don't actually do a lot of hair or makeup myself on a day-to-day basis, but I'm
Mhm.
always so intrigued at the techniques.
I know, it's impressive.
Right? Like that these people, even like kids, there's a lot of like younger like people that are just like, you take the bun and you slip the thing in and you do this and you do that and tada, you have an updo. And I was like, growing up, I know how to put my hair in pigtails, in a ponytail,
Yeah.
and a braid.
Yep.
That is the extent of my knowledge base. And I think that's why it's really important that when you go to a hairstylist, that they're not only quote unquote trendy, but they're actually keeping up with all of these techniques because it seems like everyone learned new things and you
Yeah.
want to make sure that you're getting the top service
Right.
with the most up-to-date techniques. And I think that's why we love Elle Marie Hair Studios because they've prioritized ongoing education for all of their professional stylists to make sure that they're not just learning something once when they went through school the first time around,
Yeah.
but that they're maintaining their proficiency in all the trends, all the hair techniques that we have coming up.
Yeah, because you want to, like, if you're getting, your hair done and you're trying to like stay with the times fashion wise, it's important that you're going to somebody who is going to deliver on that and not something that was even on trend like 2 or 3 years ago.
Exactly.
Like you want current. So the next time that you need a hair service done, whether it's a routine, haircut, or color, something special like a smoothing treatment, a perm, or extensions, or upstyles for special occasions and even weddings, you're definitely going to get the best and most up-to-date service at any of the 5 Elle Marie locations. And if you mention HDSA, you'll actually enjoy a special offer of $10 off of a haircut or $20 off of a color for a total of $30 in savings, which is super awesome.
Who doesn't love saving money?
I mean, I do. So now is a great time to call up Elle Marie. Make sure you go in and get yourself taken care of. You're going to look great.
For more information and to book your next appointment, you can go to elmariehairstudio.com. That's ELLEMARIE hairstudio.com.
You landed on the Titanic.
Yep.
In a big way.
Mm-hmm.
Why the Titanic?
So last year's themes that I felt like I could redo were really Paris and the Titanic that I could do for a long period of time. Scraping off my artwork so many times last year.
You died a little bit inside.
I did.
Yeah.
I describe it as like Voldemort, creating a Horcrux. Part of his soul went, into those objects. And so
The lighter side.
Yeah.
You are like the biggest not Voldemort.
Anti-Voldemort.
yeah, I'm not killing people, but I was killing my artwork and it really hurt.
Yeah.
And so I just couldn't do that again. So I wanted to do a theme
Understandable.
that I could stick with and that I wouldn't have to worry about Disney suing me. over
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
that's a good point.
Yeah, because
So-
Disney and Star Wars.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's tough.
And
Yeah.
like
And-
Lord of the
Well, I mean,
Rings.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
all of them, I guess.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do a theme that I would enjoy
Mm-hmm.
and that kids would enjoy.
Mm.
And there's a kid in all of us. And so even adults, like today, there was a woman that came in and she said, when I was a kid, I really loved the Titanic.
Mm.
And I could tell that she was kind of like excusing herself by saying as a kid,
Because she still really loves the
she
Titanic.
still really loves it.
Mhm.
So I wanted to do a theme that I could stick with and go deep with,
Mm.
like,
Mhm.
2.5 miles under the ocean deep.
Ah, nice.
And so the Titanic has been an absolute blast.
Mm-hmm.
The windows, for those that don't know, the windows are all replicas of stained glass windows from inside the Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
And the windows that I have planned for the future, because I do want to change out the current windows for others. I have fun doing, painting and doing something new, but I'm not going to change them out until I finish with my big piece. And when my big piece is done,
You're not done with that yet?
I'm not.
Oh.
I was like, I thought it was done because it's in the store.
It looks done.
Yeah.
Explain the big piece for those listening who haven't come in yet to see it.
Or who hasn't followed you on Instagram to know the journey of the big piece.
The big piece is one of the coolest things that you will see in Snohomish. So it's a full-size replica of the largest part of the Titanic ever recovered.
Mm.
And the real one is down in Las Vegas at the Luxor. There's a Titanic museum there. And it is about 14 feet tall, about 23 feet wide. And I worked with the museum who gave me the dimensions for the piece,
Wow.
as well as several high-resolution photographs. And I made it. I built it in my barn. And my son and I, we took it apart and we reassembled it late at night, pulled an all-nighter. And it is a really cool piece. It is from the starboard side of the ship when the ship split in half.
Mm.
A large part of the midship section disintegrated and,
Mm-hmm.
thousands of pieces, broke apart. And this is the largest of those pieces. It's so large that they actually had to cut it in half, and part of it's down in Florida and part of it's down in Las Vegas. So,
But you can see the whole thing at Toppet Yogurt Shop.
you can see more of it at Toppet Yogurt Shop than you can see in Vegas.
Wow.
Because the full size piece is about, my guess would be about 20 feet tall,
Oh, gotcha.
which is about 6 feet taller than our
Mhm.
ceiling.
Mm.
So I did have to cut it off somewhere,
Yeah.
but you'll be able to see more of it at Toppet than in Vegas.
Wow.
So the last pieces that are needed for it to be complete are 2 portholes, a 10 and a 12-inch porthole that will go in between the 2 big 24-inch side lights that are on there. And they're being forged this week,
Wow.
which is so cool. Finally, after 10 months, forged this week in England by the grandson of the man that made the original portholes for the
Whoa.
Titanic.
So cool.
And he is using the same casts that his grandfather used
Wow.
115 years ago.
That's crazy.
It is.
Are they brass?
They are brass.
Yeah.
And they have deadlights over them made out of cast iron.
Mm.
And so these are literally going to be 2 more portholes for the Titanic,
Wow.
but they will not be in the bottom of the ocean.
They'll be in Snohomish.
in Snohomish at Toppet Yogurt Shop.
How
So cool.
did you? Well, did you just like email the museum in Las Vegas and was like, "Hi, I own a yogurt shop and I would like to do the."
I kept calling and calling and calling, and finally I got someone who's willing to work with me.
Oh my!
I love the persistence.
Yeah. And did you find the grandson like just Googling? Like, how do you even get around to like?
You'd be amazed at what you can find
Yeah.
in the Titanic community.
Oh.
So
All the Titanic nerds, for lack of a better word.
that's right. Kindred
Endearing.
spirits. That's right.
Spirits, yes.
Yeah.
So I posed a question out there on the internet. I was looking for the plans. If anybody had the plans so that I could recreate these portholes.
Oh.
And someone said, well, Utley is the name of the company that made them.
Uh-huh.
Quick Google search showed me that Utley is still in business.
Wow.
They have a contact us. So I filled out the form. And within a day, this elderly gentleman, very kind, called me up because I explained in the contact us what I was trying to do.
Uh-huh.
So Utley had made the two big 24-inch side lights as well as the 10 and the 12-inch. And he said, I'd love to help you, but I don't really have any plans for the 24-inch side lights any longer. They got destroyed during World War II in the bombing of Britain. He's like, I've got a picture and I'll send it to you, but I still have the molds that were used for the 10 and the 12. And I'm happy to give you, the blueprints for those. He sent those to me, called him back. We had some good conversations. And finally I was like, Tom, would you be willing to make these for me? He said, I'll need to think about it. Because those are old casts.
Yeah.
And they've only been used one time since the White Star Line closed in 1935.
Oh.
And they were used to refit the SS Nomadic, which was a farrier vessel basically built for the Olympic class liners, including the Titanic, to bring them from Cherbourg, France, out to these huge liners that were so big they couldn't actually dock in port.
Gotcha.
And so there was that one vessel that was still in existence, and they refitted it out. And so they pulled out those molds, they used them, and then they put them back in storage. So this will be the second time that they're used. In
That's amazing.
Almost 100 years.
My gosh.
People are really seeing something special then
They
coming
are.
into the shop.
Yeah.
And I love how you have the little cards around the shop that kind of show what are you looking at, and it's very educational.
Yeah.
We could take field trips.
It's like a
to top
museum.
it.
It literally
But it's
is.
a delicious museum.
Which is even better. But yeah, because I do wonder, I was like, a lot of the kids that come into the shop these days, do they know about the Titanic?
They do now.
I mean, they do now after visiting your shop.
Yeah.
But granted, Titanic has also been a name that just keeps popping up. A couple of years ago, we had the expedition that
Yeah,
unfortunately did not
so
go well.
sad.
And apparently someone else is trying that again. So I feel like the Titanic just every couple of years just has a resurgence.
It's one of those things that just like captures the interest of everybody.
Yeah.
Because
and it continues.
It's like Amelia Earhart,
Yeah.
like everybody kind of knows the story of it. And it's sad that it's like we get hyper focused on these things that are centered around tragedy. But I think it's also like when something like that happens, we are jolted by tragedy, right? And we are jolted by the loss of human life. And especially these things that are meant to be like these monumental expeditions and something that's never been done before. And then it fails. Like, I think not to sound morbid, but it kind of like helps us face our own mortality a little bit, to where we're like, oh, humans do really amazing things. And sometimes they go wrong. And it just remains so fascinating for all the stories of the people that were on the ship and the things about the ship itself and all the expectations around it. And it's a crazy historical monument, basically.
Yeah. I think fascinating is really a good word to explain the whole story, not just it happening, but everything else since.
Yeah. It makes you wonder how much interest would there have been in sea voyage around that time in general? Like the life jacket that you have there.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing that I see people looking at and holding up, and because it's made out of cork, right?
It is.
So it's actually super heavy, but it would make you float because of the cork.
Buoyant, yeah.
So like when you first pick it up, you're expecting to be this lightweight, and then
What
your
you expect
arm drops
nowadays,
and you're like, oh my gosh, this is insanely heavy. But I've seen so many kids fascinated with that, or the Morse code.
Yeah.
Little
clicky.
What is it? Yeah.
It's a telegraph key.
Thank you. Telegraph key that you have on the table. Like the kids love that. And it's very immersive. And you don't really get to do that in a lot of other places. So
yeah. You really don't, unless you go to like a children's museum.
Right.
Which this is basically turning into. I love it. Because you guys also host, speaking of children, story times, right? During the day for different groups.
Do. Yep. We're taking a break for the summer because my wife does it with our youngest, who is doing lots of different things this summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's every Wednesday morning at 10:30.
It looks so cute.
It's basically, it's halfway to a children's museum at this point, right? So many activities for adults, for children, so many things to look at. Speaking of other things in the store, one thing I do love that you introduced is your reusable cups, bowls,
Oh, yeah.
and spoons.
We haven't talked about the sustainability part yet.
Yeah. And I love it because I do, speaking of garbage problems in Snohomish, right? Thank God for those new garbage cans and recycling bins.
So nice.
But I do see that as, a big change that not a lot of other yogurt shops don't do that, And And I love that. So I believe you won a Green Snohomish Award.
Mm-hmm.
Talk
That
a
was
little
in
bit.
2023, right? That you won that?
It was.
And then
yeah.
you got to be a presenter
I did.
this year.
Well, they called us back to just talk about what we've been doing for the past year.
They're like, are you still green? Can
Yeah.
you still come talk at this thing?
Even
Are you
more
turning
green.
yellow?
Yeah.
But yeah, talk to us about how that came about, like the idea and like, yeah, all of your wonderful environmentally friendly efforts.
Well, it goes back to like why I make most of our toppings.
Mm-hmm.
It's just basically the way that I live.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Toppet, I live on a farm. I unfortunately, I'm so busy now with Toppet, I'm not able to grow as much as I used to, but I used to raise over 40 different crops, provided, whether it was grains or legumes or,
Mm-hmm.
Our vegetables and berries, etc. So just trying to be a responsible human being on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to leave this planet at least no worse
Mm-hmm.
for my having been here.
Mm.
That's kind of my
Mm-hmm.
minimum standard,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which is a really hard standard for any of us to
Mhm.
actually meet.
Yeah.
I would love for the planet to be better for my having been here. So then I buy this business and all of a sudden I've got like all of this waste
Mm.
and I'm selling things that are made out of things that I don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
And I am getting shipments,
Mhm.
that are coming on semi-trucks or planes, etc.
Mhm.
So how does my conscience
Mhm.
deal with
Yeah.
my new life?
Mhm.
That's basically the dilemma. And so I think the first thing, and I should also say Cora, one of the prior owners, when we bought the store, she had wood spoons.
Mm.
And I really liked that.
Mhm.
I didn't like using the wood spoons because they just kind of remind me of eating those like ice cream
The
things
Dixie
when I was
cups.
a kid. Yeah. And
The
they just
orange
kinda,
and
like,
vanilla.
exactly. Yes.
They're always
Which
freezer
I
burned.
enjoy, but
There's a time and place.
Yeah. but they stick on the tongue.
Yeah.
And so I had people complaining reasonably about those. And so I was like, why am I using these spoons?
Mhm.
Why couldn't I use metal spoons?
Mhm.
And so I went to Goodwill. They're
Mhm.
like 10 cents a piece.
Mhm.
And I bought normal metal spoons and
Mm.
they're so much better to eat with. They're
Mhm.
cold.
Yeah.
They're smooth.
Yeah.
They feel good.
Yeah.
It's the way that you're supposed to eat ice cream.
Yeah.
So
And frozen
true.
yogurt.
There's reasons behind that. I'm going to go off on my silversmithing tangent. So my dad's a silversmith. I used to work in our family business, and there's literally flatware for everything you can possibly think of. But ice cream spoons were always sterling,
Hmm.
and people started doing silver plate, but they were pretty much always sterling because it affected the taste.
Mm.
So they would stay cold, but eating off of a silver spoon
Mm.
was a
Yeah.
class thing.
Yeah.
But it actually does make the ice cream taste better.
It does.
So if you can find sterling at Goodwill, you'll enhance the flavor even more.
I have
Do you have
found
some
silver
sterling?
spoons, but I have
Yeah.
a brother who collects silver.
Yeah.
So I just I've set them aside for him because sometimes our spoons disappear,
Mm,
believe it or not.
Yeah.
So
I could imagine. I mean, I'm also that guilty person that sometimes accidentally just like walks around with things in
Mm.
my hand without realizing that something is in my hand. But I think what helps with your store is that because the bowl is also heavy,
mhm.
the heavy bowl reminds me better than if I were, I think, to have
Yeah.
like a paper cup and a silver spoon.
I think your spoons are at Sheila's house.
I think that's what she's saying.
I will double check and I'll give it back if there is, but I think I've been good.
So at first, there were a lot of spoons that would walk off
Mhm.
because change is hard.
People aren't
Mm.
used to it.
You don't go to an ice cream shop and get a metal spoon.
Yeah.
You get a piece of garbage that you use for a minute
Yeah.
and then you throw it away.
Mhm.
But people are used to it now.
Yeah.
And so the metal spoons was the first thing
Mhm.
that we did. And then I started participating in a carbon offset program.
Mm.
So we are a carbon neutral
Wow.
operation.
That's so great. Congrats.
Thanks.
like-
It's the minimum standard though,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
It should be the minimum standard. And then we went to compostable cups.
Mhm.
And then you realize, well, you can use wood spoons and compostable cups, but unless you have composting as a service,
Mhm.
it just goes to the trash anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we worked with Lamb & Co. to bring in composting into all of
Because they're your landlords.
Because they are
Mm.
landlords,
Mhm.
yep. And then we just kind of went from there to metal cups.
Mhm.
And then when I went to a fixed pricing model, I went to, 3 different sizes of
Mhm.
reusable bowls.
I like that you also like post in the store, or sometimes I've seen on social media, like
Mhm.
why,
Yeah.
the why behind your decisions. And I think that's great because it's like, there's some people that will ask,
Mhm.
but I feel like the majority of people don't ask, or they complain. That's the other ask
True.
that you get. But I like that you're transparent with so many things.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, are you wondering why we don't have the beautifully colored, fancy
Yeah.
cups? It's because the dyes aren't super great and we can't compost them. So
Right.
the reason behind your decisions, I think, helps people be a little bit more invested into the experience that they're having.
Mhm.
I think it helps people to feel better
Yeah.
about coming to our place.
Mhm.
And it also opens up their mind to their own lives and their own practices.
Mm.
Like my sister, she works for Washington State Fish Hatcheries,
Oh.
and she has her degree in water. And I remember her telling me
Water degrees. Interesting.
water technician or something like that. And
My degree is in
um,
H2O.
That's right. Not the mermaid show, but
I love that you know that.
3 daughters.
Yeah.
There are lots of spinoffs of that. So she was telling me about in the state of Washington how yellow dye
Mhm.
has basically poisoned so many of our rivers and streams and
Wow.
lakes.
Mm.
And that yellow dye comes from like those yellow legal pads that we all use, or the sticky notes, or things like that. And so I'm like, never again. I'm never buying a yellow legal pad. I am not going
Yeah.
to be using these sticky pads. So
Oh, I'm going to have to stop using sticky notes.
yeah,
I know. I was
I did
totally
not
just going
know
through the
that was-
inventory in the HDSA office
yeah,
in my
there
head.
you have a drawer full of yellow
They're
sticky
little.
notes.
They're all the colors,
They're
actually.
all- I do have a rainbow
Mhm.
pack too. But that's interesting. Like
Mhm.
I would never have known that.
same.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I have a sister that knows that and
Yeah,
shared
and
it.
hopefully now our audience is also known
That's
is
right.
aware, right?
Ah, that's really cool.
I also like that having the reusable cups, bowls,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
and spoons also makes us hang around the shop a little bit more because I am not walking away with any of your cutleries. But there are definitely times where, Trent and I would come in there and we're like, yeah, we'll just sit. And it kind of forces us to like take a second.
I want people to do that.
Yeah. And take a breather. And we're not just running from
Yeah.
one place to another. Because, a lot of the times if we do the paper, then we'll walk and eat, which has, good times too, walking around downtown Snohomish, eating yogurt. But it does make you like hang out. And then when we hang out, we look at the museum or we run into you or we run into other people. The number of times we've run into Megan at Top Ed is
Hey.
more than a handful. But I like that it enables that.
Yeah.
It creates that atmosphere that
It's an invitation.
exactly. It's an invitation.
I like that too. I don't know if Evie likes that so much anymore.
Mom, stop cupping to my word.
Yeah.
I said, if it ever feels like too much, you can just save that for a time when it feels too little.
Aw.
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 So many good nuggets.
I love that.
You are the Mr. Rogers of
Yeah.
Snohomish.
I said that to someone the other day.
You said
I
it
was
to
like,
me.
did I say it to you?
I just stole it.
I love you. He is though, right?
I'm sorry, but that catchphrase just ran right into that. Like that is something Mr. Rogers would say.
I know.
But I love it though. It's such a calming effect that you have on people.
We need a Mr. Rogers in Snohomish.
We do.
You're
We need
feeling,
lots of Mr. Rogers.
yeah. Thank you for holding that
Yeah.
place.
Well, that's kind of you to say.
I hope that other people come along and share the burden with you.
Yeah. So speaking of Ken's involvement in Snohomish.
Yes.
So we also have known Ken through HDSA because of all of the partnerships and letting us use your space multiple times a year and you yourself volunteering at our events. So first of all, thank you.
Yes.
Of course.
But
Thank you.
tell us, like, how did you first get interested in that, or like what prompted you to kind of be like, oh yeah, HDSA is, you were running a business, you were working also, but like you don't have a lot of extra time, right? But you still spend it with us.
Good question.
He's like, how did I get sucked
It's like,
into that?
maybe I need to.
I'm not really sure how I got started in it. I think, honestly, it was the offer that Megan had to do something at
Mhm.
Top It for Winterfest.
Mhm.
That's kind of the first
The
memory
gingerbread,
I
right?
have.
Probably.
And I actually viewed that
Mhm.
as someone who wanted to do me a favor.
Mm.
And that's how I look at the HDSA is I don't look at any of the events as me helping an event necessarily.
Mhm.
I view these events as things that help all of us.
Mhm.
And so why would I say no to that?
Mhm.
Why would I not want to
Mhm.
help out with that?
Yeah. Thank you for saying that, because I do try to take a holistic view. And actually, we had Jessica, she is the executive director for the North Bend Downtown Association. She came and visited today. So, of course, I had to take her right Top It and Looking Glass and all the places and the Oxford. So
Mm.
we went to the Oxford and we walked in and Ember was sitting there and she looked at me and I was like, do you just dread when I walk in here? Are you like, what is she going to ask me for now? And she was like, oh no, we're happy to have you here. But sometimes I feel that way. Like I feel like here I am again, asking a business owner who is already very busy for
Mhm.
another thing. But I do try to make the asks in a way that should be beneficial
Mhm.
for the business owner too, and a good fit, while also being beneficial for the entire district
Mhm.
and the community and the tourists and the residents and all the
That's a
things.
big
Everyone.
ask.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do, but it does take participation from multiple people,
Mhm.
like that's literally the essence of community, right? But with the gingerbread houses, I think that connection came through Nancy at the chamber.
It did, yeah.
Mm.
And that whole thing just kind of evolved
Mhm.
into, okay, now we're doing gingerbread houses. But that's turned into, you've hosted for 2 years now.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
And it seems pretty
As long as you guys want us to do it again.
It's on the working plans.
Okay, there
It's
you go.
also on the record. So
Yeah. Check, you're done. But I think people really appreciate that event, and hopefully it's beneficial for Top
Yeah,
It too.
of course it is. Anything that helps us help others
Mhm.
is good.
Mhm.
It's pretty cute too.
Yeah.
All the families putting
It's
together
so
their
much
little
fun.
gingerbread
And then
kits.
Santa and Mrs. Claus.
Coming
Yeah.
by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know they're so cute
They
too.
really are.
I love Santa and Mrs. Claus.
And I think one of the great things is that it provides a venue for children
Mm-hmm.
activities, because I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of the holiday things, well, although a big part of the holidays is geared towards children, but a lot of things can seem like adult,
Or
You-
centered around alcohol.
which I am guilty of hosting the
I mean,
wine
but
fund every year.
there's a balance though, right?
Yeah.
And like, that's feedback that we've gotten is
Yeah.
like, it seems like most of the
Exactly.
events, not even just the HGSA events, but just events in general,
general,
are
yeah.
like
Yeah.
centered around alcohol. Like
Yeah.
where's
or
all
adults
the family
or
stuff? Yeah.
shopping, right? Of spending money. And I think the gingerbread houses is a great venue to spend time.
Yeah.
You're doing an
Exactly.
activity
Yeah.
and with the kids. So we appreciate you hosting us the past couple of years. The pictures I never get to stop by, but the pictures look cute.
It's very cute.
It's fun.
And we've kind of looped you into some other HDSA stuff now to where you are
That's always how it starts.
considering joining the board or in the process of joining the board.
That's right.
Megan has this
If you guys
essence.
still want me.
We do. And yeah, we're just excited to get you more plugged in. And
Mhm.
hopefully you will also find that your time that you're spending is rewarding for you too. Knowing all your skills, sometimes I'm like,
I'm
this is
not
definitely
worried.
a one-way relationship. Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, of course. Do you mind if I add something there to the gingerbread house?
Hmm.
So I won't call him a consultant, but he was giving me some free consulting. He's a business
A
consultant.
gingerbread consultant?
No, because we were sitting talking. It was last February during my Paris theme,
Mm.
and he was like, "You need to get rid of the games,
Like the board games?
the board games, yeah, that we have for kids and families to play with. You need to get rid of these couches," which is what we were sitting in at the very time. They're very comfortable, by the way.
They
I
are
love
very
those couches.
comfortable.
I know,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, you need to think of this like Subway. He said, Subway, what are the colors in there? I'm like, green and yellow. He's like, you know why they're green and yellow? Because studies have shown those are the colors that people want to be around the least. Subway has designed their interior for people to come in, eat if they're going to eat, and get out, right? But it's not designed in a way that keeps people wanting to be there. And I basically said, thank you for your advice. But that is not the point.
Yeah.
The point that I have is I want people to build their relationships there with whoever it is that they're coming with.
Yeah.
And so the gingerbread event, it does that, right? I love it that people come in and they can stay there for an hour and create memories together.
Yeah.
And I'm just honored that we have a place where people can do that. That's the whole point.
It's almost a compliment that he was telling you how badly you
I
are
know,
generating
right?
turnover. You were like, thank you.
So you want people to get out of here. You want them to get their froyo and leave. I'm like, that's not what I want though.
You know what? When you were saying that, I was reflecting on all of the places that I visit in Snohomish, and I can't think of any place that sets their business up that way. And I think that's why people like it here so much.
Yeah.
Like I'm rarely, sometimes I do just want to get my coffee because I have somewhere to be, but that usually doesn't happen. Like if I'm in Looking Glass,
right?
I'm there to meet someone or do some work or spend some time or talk to the baristas. Like
they've designed it that way.
yes.
And it's what makes it unique.
Pretty much every place is like that in Snohomish.
Every place is inviting. They want you to stay.
Yeah.
It's comfortable.
I think that's why people like being here. And that, I think we're hitting on a point here of why it does feel so welcoming. Like people say that all the time. Snohomish is just so welcoming and I feel so welcome here and I love being here. And I think that's why.
Part of the essence.
Thanks.
You just identified that for us.
Yeah. Well, Ken, it has been such a pleasure to get to know you and a lot of the stories behind, how you came to be and how you became the staple of Snohomish.
Your relationship with froyo.
Your relationship with froyo. That is a question we should ask every.
What's your relationship with frozen yogurt?
Coming in. But we like to end our podcasts with one final question. I don't know if you know this or not.
I've listened to all of your episodes.
So it's like,
thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So you know what's coming. You know, the last question that we ask is describe your perfect day in Snohomish.
So I have thought about this question because I knew that you were going to ask it. And I would have to say that it includes top it because that's what a lot of your guests say. But honestly, it's really just my ideal day anywhere is just being able to spend time with the people that I love and care about. It doesn't really matter where it is. It could be at Toppet, it could be at my home. And it doesn't matter really the weather, although I do enjoy sunny days. And so really that's just my ideal day.
Oh, that's
wonderful.
So sweet.
Well, and you get to have that ideal day pretty much every day because your family is there with you.
Which was the whole intent.
So what? Life is good.
I think almost the whole family was there when I was leaving today.
Yep.
With the exception of Grace.
Yep.
And of course your son.
Yep.
But
they were there in spirit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, thank you. That is so heartwarming. Again, just the Mr. Rogers of our Snohomish over here.
I'm not.
You don't think so?
No. He's a very special man.
Mr. Rogers. But so are you.
No, thanks.
You're a very special man. Special to us.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
Honestly don't even know what else to say, but thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
We're at the end then, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Of course. Hello, neighbors.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Snohomish Storytellers.
Keep writing those stories, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Snohomish Storytellers, brought to you by the Historic Downtown Snohomish Association, produced by Red Trucks.